All right. So we're on.
Great. One sip.
So we. Oh. Nice. How is that? Do you know what type of beer that is? Ooh, do I get a sip?
No, I don't know what kind. Was it the low calorie?
That's
Low calorie
delicious.
beer.
That was delicious. All right, back to my awesome tea.
It's good. Yours is just not hot.
I know. All right. So let's spit this up now. So now that we're going good audio into the camera, into the mic. This is gonna be, except for the P, because when I hit the P's, it pops. But not with this thing on. So now I got no more problem popping
Do you
the
think that
P's.
we
The
should
P's,
Velcro
the
that
explosive.
thing on? Or tape it?
We once had it was actually a thing that it was made for that. It was a mic protector. I don't know what happened to it. Gone. Anyway, low budget stuff, you know. All right, Ava, let's talk to got a hair on this.
Let's talk to what?
Let's talk sum this up. Sum up breakfast.
Some breakfast stuff?
Yes. Breakfast.
Breakfast is just my favorite.
Favorite, why?
Ooh, because there's so much you can do with it, and I've always loved breakfast, and I've always thought that you should start the day with breakfast. I know it's old school, and it really doesn't matter because people do different things that work for them, but it's just at all times there's just, especially with with what we do, like there's a lot of different options out there.
There are certainly a lot of different options out there. Most people stick to the same, I'm going to say simple options, which are eggs, bacon, what else?
Eggs, bacon,
Cereal.
waffles, pancakes, cereal, oatmeal,
Pancakes,
and
toast.
that's kind of where we just kind of stay.
You know, eggs, bacon, and toast,
Donuts.
a traditional breakfast, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, what about it? Why eggs and bacon?
I don't know.
Why?
Why not?
I mean, did you have that growing up?
I did.
What did you have? Why are you laughing?
I'm so sorry. I saw this going in a direction I was just not vibing with, I guess. My bad. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you're kind of, and I guess it's just now I'm feeling like interviewed or just whatever. But yeah, I'm just not like this topic or wherever it's going. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, where is it going?
I guess like you're right. Like maybe talking about a topic that I know where the point is going. Like I guess I don't know. Maybe it doesn't even matter.
Where were you going with the topic?
You were kind of asking me questions about like how I felt about breakfast and what about it, and like very like, oh yeah, like what? Give me one word that sums breakfast up. Like okay, I don't have anything earth shattering right now to drop on.
Did I ask that question? Give one.
Mm-hmm. Like what? Give me one thing about breakfast. Give me one. And I was like, okay, well, you know. So I kind of felt like now we're in a question of the day. It wasn't like I don't know.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Like I'm just kind of asking. Like, what happens if I just dropped like a question like that was meant like, well, maybe I would have liked some thought before this question. I don't know. Maybe I won't. You know, maybe that's just the part that you have to give up.
I think as you just have to keep the conversation going.
Probably true.
And just
not get annoyed.
I mean, like what? How do you get annoyed?
I don't know.
Because you think it's going in a direction.
You're
that it's
right. And
not?
if it, no, because I felt like it wasn't good content. So maybe I'm just overthinking the content and that's not good.
I don't think there's no such thing as no good content.
Yeah, exactly. And I was
I
like,
think
oh
the
man.
best content is gonna be when you get mad and like storm off and actually like we have some of those.
Oh, great. Wow. Okay.
We do.
Cool. I'm glad that's you can't wait. Dumb. Wowzers.
Wowzers. Why go? Like, what's the hardest? I mean, like, what about our community? Let's. I mean, if we're gonna record something, let's like, what, like, why?
Oh, cool.
What
Yeah.
is like? What the benefit of joining us? Like, what are we trying to do? What's if we're gonna like talk about a vision, which we don't really have right now, which we're working on, right? So let's talk through our vision or what we want to impact. What's your goal? Like, what's your goal? Like, what's our goal? And I'm gonna say, talking to you, we'll talk out the business and what we're trying to do. I think that'd be pretty fun.
All right, cool.
So, what's like, where did you start and what, like, not like in so many, not in like 60 seconds, but if you can go back and like where you started and where like we are now and then where we're going and what's like, kind of what do you see ahead in the future?
Oh my gosh, you just asked like a whole shroom of like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and in fact, I got this from Elon. If you look up interview questions by Elon Musk, he says, like, tell me your whole story, basically. By the way, but in a sense, I just want to know like where you came from, like, and what's your direction?
You say where did you like it's where we came from. Like we really like that's where we should start to change our vocabulary. Like
Okay, so
where we come from, what is our background.
So everything is going to be we.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into Ava, like
team.
you specifically.
It's a team. It's not. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple.
Well, because if you talk, your background is much different than my background.
Well,
I mean,
true,
it's
but
true.
at the same time, like like it's a team, and like, but I also want people to recognize that we do have difference of opinions. We don't always see eye to eye on everything, and I think that's obviously that's important too. You need to have that because you're always going to have certain things that you don't see eye to eye with other people.
100%. Yeah, I mean and that's what makes growth. Like without if everyone had the same opinion, there would be no growth. 100%. So you have to continue to challenge and just be patient when people see things differently than you. I mean, I think that's going to be the next 150 years for us. I'm going to live that long, so it's just going to be a patient game because seriously, what we're about to do and how many people we're about to affect or trying to influence it's like everyone. I mean, do you not agree?
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, yeah. I don't know. It's going to be what it's going to be, but our job is to impact and influence as many people as possible. Like, I guess that's what it is, as many people as possible, where, who's ready to hear it, who's, needing change, who's starting to see the message, who's starting to understand the impacts that we're having, and that's really what it comes down to. What are you looking for?
My thing fell.
Okay.
Yeah, and this thing is going to be popping, and that's not going to be good. There's a lot of people that
Let's just forget about it, okay?
Forget about what?
Putting that thing on.
Man.
I mean, I would for now.
Well, if you don't have good audio, then that's not good,
Oh, well, mine doesn't have one of those.
Actually, now that I turned it up, maybe like the I don't have to have it so close. Still sounds pretty good.
All right, good. Now that we have that figured out.
Yeah, I would say so.
Good.
Wonderful. I mean, I feel like I'm like, I'm the DJ. Like, I got to keep it going because I can't have, you can't have silence. Like, if we are live, like, you would need to like keep it rolling.
I think we both can. I think my vibe is getting mad, so I just need to chill out.
So we need to talk through this. Like, what on earth is your vibe getting mad about?
Probably because I don't like that there's no, like, yeah, you're right. We have no flow. We have no organization. We have no, like, we're just trying to freestyle this. But maybe organization on this would help a lot. Like, you're right. Like, multiple topics that we're going to address, go over, boom. Then there's just all these different videos and edits and different things. But, okay, like, so we can continue to talk. Like, I had I've had a few people reach out to me about, hey, whether it's one thing or another, but they want to consider going plant-based and they're going to give it a try for 1 to 2 weeks. And number one, that's super exciting, super pumped up, and I'm always like want people to have a great experience. But there's a big but in this, and is that I was just telling Pete, like, to me, it's not very realistic to go from zero to hero. Like, meaning with anything that you do in life, I've always strongly believed that you should be weaning yourself, and it just allows for a smoother transition. And there's so many different things that are going to happen during this process. And also, like, I don't think that limiting yourself to 1 week, 2 weeks, or even giving yourself a timeline for that matter is something that should be in the initial thought process. Like, you should not be thinking, okay, I'm going to give this a 1 week. Okay, I'm going to give this 2 weeks. I'm going to give this, like, like, I think taking it week by week is great, but I don't think you should give yourself a timeline. The timeline of the journey, there's no such thing. It doesn't exist until you're dead.
I mean, it's a lifelong process, and there's really no other way to look at it other than Meatless Monday, which you start with like 1 day, and then you go, it's forever, and you keep chipping away at every single thing, like what you want to change. I mean, and that's it, right? Chip away at dairy, chip away at eggs, chip away at meat, keep chipping away at these things, at processed foods, at learning, right? Learning what's good, what's bad. Keep chipping away.
I also think too, like, as you go along, you learn different things, or you hear it a different way, or you're just ready because you've prepared yourself up into this point to make another transition within your diet. So that's why I just strongly believe, and also your why is going to change. You start to get deeper whys in different places that maybe you didn't even expect. I know that's something that I have very much experienced along this journey of caring and having more compassion for animals. And I'm not even there, but I definitely have felt that I have a new understanding and eye-opening to what's going on to these farm animals. And it's not just farm animals, but here in the U.S., like cows, pigs, those are the main ones. It's not just that, chickens and different things like that.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my goodness,
that took a turn into the animals.
No,
I mean,
yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. It's just changes along this journey. Like, I think for me, I always go back to health. Other people go to something different.
We started with the whole health journey. Like, we started almost in complete opposite of where we are now, which is CrossFit. And the first thing that they say in how to eat CrossFit diet is eat meat.
Yeah, and in fact, I remember, I'm sure things have changed, but they were really hitting the zone diet or something in that effect. Like, I learned that during the level 1 course.
Yeah, I mean, but their whole, like, it's straight up the first 2 words are eat meat.
I don't think the first 2 words are eat meat, is it?
Dead serious. Eat meat, and it says vegetables, nuts, seeds, berries, but it says eat meat.
Oh yeah.
The first 2 things.
That was that, and that really fell along paleo.
Well, yeah,
that's where we started to get into that.
Yep. And think about that, how we just completely flipped.
That's why, like, we know that if we can
don't
do
even-
this, and just coming from such an extreme, like paleo, bless you, paleo lifestyle is very meat driven, and that's what we did for years. And now the fact that we have completely flipped the script just gives us more like empathy for the fact, like, we know that you guys can do this. Like,
Well,
we know.
I mean, I think if you look at probably close to 100% of the people out there have started, they did not, like, were born not eating meat or dairy. And so they transitioned some way, shape, or form along their along their life, made a decision not to eat meat, not to eat dairy. And so, like, we're all along this path.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's so amazing that the kids are starting at such an earlier age, and they really and we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them on talking and sharing their journey with you guys. But they really do have, and they believe this, an advantage. They have they're starting this earlier, and it's just pretty incredible how they feel about it, with the encouragement and coaching from their mom and dad.
Yeah, it's you really can't do it alone. You need another person, you need positive influence doing this along this journey, just like with anything. And so you can't really do it alone. And that's why I made it for us. So, and we looked at each other, it was like, what would it be like if we didn't, like, see eye to eye on the whole food thing? It'd be difficult. And I know some people are out there in the situation, right? Like the moms or so that the dads, their husband, they're saying, oh, no way, I'm gonna never give up meat. Like, and they're working through this process. But you look at it, it's like you have a lot of time. Like, this is just starting this whole, I'm gonna say, this momentum, this wave of looking at meat differently, looking at what we normally consume or what we think is typical for a family to consume every day. I think we're going to start to change the way that we look at these things.
And I thought that you made a really good point, was that you cannot, and of course you can, but it really does help when you have somebody to do this journey with, or to make this big transition, and all the support and everything. And the one thing is that I will say is that Pete and I had each other, but we very much understand that not everyone has this support system. Not everybody, loves to cook or all these other things, or is good at cooking or whatever, So for us, that's really where I see us coming in as coaches. And that's really where, you're constantly going to feel that you're getting the support that you need. You're going to be able to ask any questions that come, how do I cook this? Or what do I use instead of that? Is this good? And different questions. Is this normal? What do you recommend for vitamins? Or any of these questions that kind of come. And to me, like, that's really what we want to be able to bring you guys value, where you're not feeling like you're doing this alone. You have the support and constant education from coaches that are walking the same journey that you are.
Yeah, absolutely true. And want to be clear that you want to ask as many questions as you possibly can. I think first starting off, you're going to have a lot of questions and there is no such thing as a stupid question. So, whether you're at the store or if you hear something, if you read an article, send the article, ask the question, and post it in the group, and then we'll answer, we'll give our feedback. I mean, that's the best way that way we're helping each other all learn, all educate, because think about this, you're not the only one with that question. You just had enough, guts to go ahead and ask it. And we want to just encourage people to ask whatever question it is. There is no such thing as a stupid question.
Yeah, and the truth is you're going to learn from other people as well, right? So that's the biggest thing too, is bringing value amongst the community of people. But I like that the donuts are posted up here. I like these donuts right here. And I wanted to talk about them because I think one of the biggest fears that I know that I had is that, am I going to be eating a bunch of plants? Like, okay, so you talk about plants, but what does that really look like? Is it going to be an iceberg salad every single day? Is it a green smoothie in the morning? And then what do I eat at night? Because this is just scaring the shit out of me.
I mean, I think that's true, but now knowing and coming across our content, coming across the recipes, coming across and what we found and what we're sharing and what we're encouraging everybody to realize is that it is absolutely, you're not missing anything. You're not going to miss a single thing. In fact, the flavors, the meals, everything, I'm going to say, gets to the next level. There are so many different more choices. Somebody put it like this, there's like all these species of plants in the world, like over 20,000 different types of plants. And, people continue to eat the three, same animals. And it's mind boggling the amount of, combinations of plants and things that we can combine and make just tremendous, tasteful, just delicious dishes. That you really don't even understand because you're blinded by the processed foods and the things, the sauces that you can, like, that you're, doing right now.
That's true.
I mean, it is. It's hard to argue with that. Your taste buds. I mean, your taste buds actually change. Like, they change. They're blinded. I'm gonna say they're masked by the processed foods, the salt, the sugars, the fake things, the everything, the preservatives in these things that we consume day in and day out, and so you're used to them. So to go away from that onto plants and more things that are from natural ingredients, things that we can actually pronounce and read, it's going to be a huge difference, like a huge taste difference. But once you get over this hump, I'm going to say that there's a point where you get past. There's a point where you get past and you start to realize, like, oh my gosh, you really start to taste. Because some of the dishes that you've made before, like when we first started doing these, switching to plant-based, it's like it was, you had to get used to it. And then now it's like, wow, the flavors just pop the more that you're on this.
Yeah, and as you were kind of saying that, I thought of something, was that when I first started to learn about how to shift and transition meat out of our food, I would use these, what I call transition meats. Other people call flax meats. I don't care what you call them. They're usually in certain sections of the grocery store, and they're basically meatless vegan products. And not all of them are vegan, actually. Some of them do contain egg or milk, so you have to just read the label. But I would say, like, in the beginning, those really did not hit the spot, because we were just transitioning over. Now, some people may really like them and some people may not. And that's where I think I just force ourselves to eat, like, the health, like, instead of buying the fake meatless grounds, I would buy the cauliflower and then make my own out of that. And so it was really a process and honestly, you're going to like different things than we like, and vice versa. That's like with anybody else is diet, right? Like, we all have different taste buds, and so different things are gonna work for you and vice versa. But for the most part, when you start to enjoy plants and you start to enjoy food, like, everything tastes bomb. It tastes really, really, really good. And I never even felt that way when I was eating, like, my normal meat-based diet. I never loved food the way that I love food now. And I really, like, I don't even want anybody, like, playing video games or having any electronics or looking at their phone, like, when we're eating. I'm like, damn, it's time to eat. And I don't know if it's because I'm putting, like, not more effort, just different effort into the food, or I just understand, like, my more creative or different. I just want to, like, I love knowing that I can make an amazing dish completely out of plants that has a lot of nutrient dense foods for my family. And most importantly, it tastes really bomb. It's pretty fun. And so I love looking and seeing people's reactions when they try the food.
And then not only that, but I think when you say, like, you're so hungry, and you go out and get fast food, right? You go out and get like these burgers, these greasy things, and then after you eat it, it's almost like regret. Oh my god, my stomach, right? You don't want to do a thing. I mean, here when we eat, like you feel energized. You don't get this lull. You don't get this laziness feeling over that comes over you. You get this enjoyment, this like you're refreshed, this energized feeling, and you can. I mean, it's almost unexplainable. Completely different than eating to get full. I mean, why do people eat? Like, oh, I'm so hungry. They eat to get full. They eat to get like, oh my god, I'm so hungry. They stuff their face. Like they're just forcing these processed things, these sugars down, these preservatives down, and it's like their body's overwhelmed, has no idea what to do. So it's like, oh my gosh, like you're beating your insides up, and of course you're gonna feel lazy. Of course you're not gonna have energy. This is not real energy. This is not good. These are not good things going into your body. When you completely start to put, I'm gonna say 190% of the good things into your body is going to start to heal itself. So the things that you're taking, the things that you're consuming are going through your body, and it's healing your insides. You got to heal from the inside out. And right now, the most of the things that we put into our body, processed foods, fast foods, things that, the meats, the sugars, these fast things, are destroying our bodies. So we have to start changing the mentality. And when you start to change it, you start to feel it. You start to feel much better. You start to feel, get more energy, and then you can do it with just an amazing tasteful dishes. And you've done just an amazing job. And you just try things, and some things, there's 100% of the things that you've tried to put together work. I mean, There's really not anything that you put together.
Some things are better than others.
There's nothing that you made or put together that was like, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. And in fact, I just want to put this out there, that I've had almost all of everything secondhand the next day, like leftovers. You talk about leftovers.
I have not.
And by the way, I'm not really sure either the leftovers. I don't know what's better. The leftovers taste better than the regular dish when it came out. But I've not ever heaten any leftover up, and they've been bomb. Throwing it out there.
I don't know how. I know that might not be for everyone, okay? But you're right. Like, when you aren't, like, the thought of eating, now you got me thinking. The thought of eating leftovers, I feel like you felt like you had to heat it up because you were eating, like, meat, like cold meat sounds, I don't know, maybe salami meat. I don't know.
No meat sounds good anymore. Like, no meat sounds good anymore.
Okay, well,
like it just does not sound good to me anymore.
Like,
once you make that change, like,
yeah, we just, we really are passionate about helping others. And like we said, we're still along our journey, but we're in a strong place of support and just personal growth. And we understand, like, how to help other people do this as well. And that's really what we're looking just to drive and help, not drive. That's what we're really looking just to share with you guys is, support.
I mean, it would, not only support, coaching, like actual coaching, like helping, because we've been there, like we've gone through this, we've coached athletes, we've seen different diets, and we're raising children in the same, in this whole process. And we found a way to, incorporate what we eat and, our thoughts and beliefs into introducing and kind of, teaching, coaching our three little ones on the decisions that we make, why we make them, and have them make their own decision. So not only if you either have kids or don't have a family, like, you either looking at this and you come across us and you're either a person that lives by yourself and was like, hey, you need support, we can absolutely help you. If it's just a couple, meaning a mom or a dad, or even if you have no kids, you come across this, I mean, you certainly want your significant other to be along this journey, but not everyone starts off like that. We did. We went at it together. But usually the people that come to us, I mean, you have in the stories we hear, one person is, wants to try this process, and the other, they may not even have the conversation about it. So, we encourage just to bring the awareness and the communication about, what it is and why you're trying this. What is it? What made the decision to even question or start this process? Either could be health, could be for the animals, could be for what else?
I know. I was just, while you were talking, I was just thinking at the same time that I was listening.
Well, of course.
And there's just a ton of people struggling out there, and a ton of misinformation, and a ton of people, and it's just time that the awareness be spread. And I really feel that it's mainly just for us, I think we're just tired of seeing people struggle so much with all the misinformation, from ketogenic diets to paleo to there's everything, right? It's from the sun to the moon out there, and it's confusing, and it's like, what the heck? I don't know what to listen to. This person's saying this person's saying that. Like, who do I believe? Is it somewhere in the middle? Like, what do I pick? And there's extremes, and I get it, because right now this idea of going plant-based seems so freaking extreme. It just seems so far left or right, whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever side you're on. But it just seems so far-fetched of anything that you would ever do, and why would I ever do that? And so our mission is just to bring you guys our mission is just to bring. Go ahead.
No, I didn't want to lose it, but I think that the most people that are going to come across this are the people that are somewhat interested. I don't think that you're going to get people that are completely just not even open to the idea. I think you're gonna get at least some people that are at least know the benefit, or are encouraging, like, or ready to make the move.
I mean, listen, if you're paying attention a little bit out there, you're seeing things, and it's starting to make you question and wonder, and it's got to, because I know I was the same way, where, man, like, is this global warming thing really real? Like, is there really, like, things going on with our weather? Like, what about the rainforests? Like, are those really just getting torn down? And, like, what are they getting torn down the most for? And what are what how do we prevent that from, what happens if all the rainforests go? And okay, so I started to like I think there is some messed up things going on in this animal, like, farming. But I think there is, but I don't want to take a look at it. But it sounds like there's something going on. And why is our bacon and different products that are processed meats, why are those cancer causing? Like, that doesn't make sense. Why would I be eating something that would cause cancer? I mean, I wouldn't even smoke something, right? So you have to start just thinking, like, gosh, like, some of this stuff just makes sense. I mean, like, and that really was what I think hit me. Like, I was like, whoa. It just is like, wow. Like, I was telling Pete this, and, like, almost having a heated argument, but I understand, like, there's a lot of gray area, and like sometimes there's a lot of black and white, but, like, but with this, it's like, gosh, it just, like, to me, it feels like black and white. Like, it's like, wow, it really just is. If it doesn't make sense, then you need to start questioning it. And a lot of this stuff wasn't making sense. Like, I just wasn't, like, it was just like, gosh, like, you don't have to be a nutrition expert, or you don't have to be somebody who's always been in the nutrition field, or a doctor, or any of that, right? You just have to be willing to open your eyes and listen. And I think that's the biggest thing that scares the fuck out of people, because they're scared to listen if what they might end up hearing and seeing may actually change what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's it right there. Like, there was a point where it was like, oh my gosh, like, this is real, and I'm close. And then this was when you start watching some documentaries, and you just, I don't know, this feeling comes over you, and you're like, wow, like, I could really not eat bacon again or not have a steak again, and you feel almost like relieved. Almost relieved because you know that it's the right answer. Like it's you've realized that we've been lied to, the industry, how we were brought up, and how we were marketed to, how we continue to be marketed to. But things are changing, with these documentaries that are coming out, and now I think when the people that hear the game changers, right? You have all of these, people putting down game changers, how it's, not evidence based. It's just like it's marketing. It's tricking you. The people who produced it have a company or a company with a plant based protein company, and so everything's for it. But at the end of the day, you have to question it. Like Ava, like you were saying, you have to question it, and if it doesn't make sense, like it probably is not good.
I love all the things that people find. Like, yeah, the makers of this film have a alternative motive because they have their plant-based protein. Like, wow, like that makes a lot of sense that somebody who is passionate about spreading this message would have their some way or shape or form their hand in a plant-based protein in me. Like, and I don't know, if you're just doing smart business, that might be a smart call to do. Like if you're passionate along that line of talking about athletes and plant-based protein. But all right. But I think that's really what it is. I think our biggest thing is to help you guys start to just open up a little bit about this idea. And it's not going to happen overnight. I remember watching like months and months. It was more than that. Like I had watched maybe the same documentary like 5 times before it like hit me, before I was like maybe watched the entire thing, or before I really like saw it from a different perspective. Because I'm telling you, it wasn't like the first time watching this, or the first time reading about it, or the first time seeing it, or the first time trying a plant-based meal. Like it took repetition and real work. Like it's not something that if you want it, you're gonna have it. Like you're gonna be open to an entirely like great world of flavors and just different perspective and more kindness towards all animals. And it's just a pretty awesome experience to go on, to know that you're like what you put in your body is going to be the healthiest that you can do for yourself. And at the same time, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping the world, you're helping the animals. And it's just like, what better feeling is than that? Like, I don't know, like it feels pretty awesome. So, and it's just something so simple as what I feed myself, and I can have such a great impact.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Let's go.
Yep. And so that's what we offer. I mean, that's what we come to find out, right? It's not a magic pill that you take and all of a sudden you're gonna get in shape and it's gonna be easier for you. It's a lifestyle change, and it starts with Meatless Monday. It starts with one meal at a time. It starts with one meal at a time. You take away, you start chipping away at the things that you struggle with. One of the last things that we were able to give up, eggs. We had eggs day in, day out, many of them. And we just continue to do it, and we continue to kind of justify it and find a reason, just kind of not look at it.
I didn't want to give those up.
And, yeah, I mean, because it's not a living, right? You kind of, you convince yourself, and you give yourself a reason not to give it up.
Yeah, I did.
And so you're kind of lying to yourself. But once you realize and it's not the answer, and you come to the fact that, okay, I need to move on with these. And really, it wasn't even a big deal, because the eggs are easily replaced by they're in the recipes, they're in the they're it's how you make them.
Yeah. And in fact, I'm pretty pumped about this, and you guys, this is just worth your $10 a month alone, you should tune into this, because our Lane is turning 8. Can't believe he's turning 8, by the way, and his birthday's on the 20th. So I am going to make his all-time favorite, which is those croissant sausage egg sandwiches from Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm going to make a plant-based version of this. So I'm gonna eat the croissant, the vegan sausage, the egg, and the cheese, and it's gonna be pretty bomb. I'm pretty excited to have one myself. So that's what I'm gonna attempt to pull off on November 20th. So
stand by for that. We will document, make sure put the ingredients, how we make it, videos in our membership private group. Again, we have a community, $10 a month, no commitments, no long-term contracts. What do you get in there, Ave?
All right. So what you're going to get is that you're going to get a workout a day, and it's the same workout that we do. Keep in mind, Pete and I have been coaches for over 6 years, actually 7 years. I don't know. We've been coaches for a while now and doing, so we feel very confident helping you with some of these basic functional movements that you should be doing on a daily basis and are going to help keep you moving. One thing that we strongly believe in is that you should be moving your body at least once a day for 20 minutes. And for me, if that's all I got to really do is 20 minutes, I'm going to make it the most effective workout that I can in those 20 minutes. These are workouts that you can do from the comfort of your home. Not the comfort of your couch, but definitely the comfort of your home. Whether you have, and you don't need any fancy equipment. We're going to break this down for anybody that does have some of these pieces of equipment to people that have nothing in their house. All right. So we are giving you 0 excuses to get it done. And you're going to have, like I said, access to those every single day. And you're going to be a part of what our athlete tracking system, where you can log your all your results and utilize any of the benefits from this athlete tracking system that come along with it. So a lot of the cool things is you get to communicate with other people. You also get to record anything that you do on your own at your, let's say you have access to a great fancy gym and you do your own lifts and you want to be able to record those, you can do that. And that's a very nice feature that we'll go in depth at another time. And then also, so you're going to get the workouts, all right? You're going to get the how-to, like, of us demonstrating these different movements and then giving you some coaching tips and advice. The next thing you're going to get is recipes. So they're going to get the full recipes of anything that I make and that I share that you've maybe seen and you come across. You're going to get the actual lowdown of how to do this. And it's really, really just, I'm going to make it as basic that I can with the ingredients and with the how-to of how to do it. All right. So those are 2 major things. And then lastly, you're going to be a part of our Facebook community. So you're going to get everyone who's on this journey with us and is coming in at the, so we're brand new. So you'd be part of this at the very same time as other people. But it really is bringing that community feel online. That's something that Pete and I loved, is having a community, and we very much dearly miss. And so we're excited to bring it more virtually and not just be limited to our geographic location. So, we want to be able to hit any of our friends, anybody that's interested, whether you're in, West Coast, whether you're overseas in Australia, like, we want you guys. And if you're ready for this, like, we're pumped up, because there is nothing better. There is no better gift than you can have. And I know it's freaking cliche, but it's so damn true, is your health. And, like, if you don't have your health, I don't care, you have really nothing. And it should be, health should be first, quality of life.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we should start to trim this down or start to end it.
I think we're done.
But I think, and you just mentioned it, but if the one thing that we need to focus on are the things that we do the most, and the thing that we do the most as a human is eat. And if you're consuming bad things day in, day out for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, you got a high probability, a chance of not surviving long. And I think once you realize that, you'll start to take nutrition, the foods that we eat, a lot differently. And you got to start taking ownership of it. So I think what Ava and I found, and we literally brought in our nutrition to our, like, we have to start taking responsibility from ourselves. Like, no one's going to put this in front of you, and that's kind of what we're here for. I mean, we're putting it in front of you and saying, join our family in our journey, because we pretty much have, we've gone through it. So we have we have the recipes, we have the workouts, we understand what real health, what real nutrition, what real, what it's like. And so that's what we're going to try to bring to you every single day.
For sure. And it's just cool because it's just for, people that want all the great things, but they need the convenience. They want community. They want good coaches, but they're like, dang, like, I gotta make this eat the most convenient. Where's the most convenient place that I could work out?
Well, there's nothing. Well, as your
is
home.
My home, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so maybe I have a local gym that's even very close to me. Like I can just go into there and pay a cheap rate for. But I still want a coach to tell me what to do. I still want to be able to. Oh man, I don't know what to do when I'm in here, right?
Guidance.
So it's just all of these great things, and we're just really excited to bring this back. And then the last thing when you're talking, my very last point was that, hey, when we first started coaching and when we were first opened up our gym and our space, nutrition was not a priority for us. We were just learning how to coach. And so that was really our primary focus during that time, was becoming good coaches and understanding how to teach some of these difficult movements as far as Olympic weightlifting and how to get athletes to move better at any age. So this time around, we're flipping the script and we're going to be focused on the nutrition side, and we're going to go really hard at that because I think that's what is the big piece that's being missed across the board. And we have the strong background in coaching, but that's going to be there, but it's not going to be the primary focus of this group.
Yeah, only because I think that what we found is nutrition is going to impact your body, your family way much more than fitness. But what we've also found is that it goes hand in hand.
It's 100% got to go hand in hand.
So that's why we're delivering it, both of them to you, because we know it's important. So join the group, www.thepandadiet.com.
And like and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We're at The Panda Diet. And then where else are we?
Ava Curnow.
Ava Curnow. So Instagram,
Facebook,
Pete and Ava Curnow.
See ya.